have any medical care after leaving the hospital?
No. I just went back to a squat I'd found. Lay under some blankets. It was about a month after that. It was the hunger more than anything. And I'd heard that he'd been moved to a new patch. So I just went back to working. It was all I knew how to do.
No more questions.
Mr. Hutchins is acting on behalf of the defendant, and he will now ask you some questions.
Miss Dingle, you say you worked on the streets. Can you describe the lifestyle?
I had sex with men for money.
How many men do you think?
I don't know.
How many times did Mr. Bales arrest you for soliciting?
I can't remember exactly.
Was it more than 5, 10?
More than 10?
So, it must have been a relief when Mr. Bales offered you a flat as a safe refuge.
Yes, at first.
Did you go there of your own accord?
Yes.
Did Mr. Bales give you a key?
Yes, for a few weeks.
You said that Mr. Bales assaulted you on your first night there.
Yes.
So, you were being sexually assaulted. You had your own key and you chose not to leave.
Yeah, because I had nowhere else to go. And I didn't want to admit that I was being used.
So would you say you were in a relationship back then?
Yes, at the start. I didn't know it was grooming.
But Mr. Bales helped you to stop soliciting. He homed you at his own personal cost. He risked a successful career on this most unlikely of relationships. I suggest that you cared about each other very much. Miss Dingle, when did you find out you were pregnant with Mr. Bale's baby?
I was about 4 months. I don't know exactly.
And did you inform the defendant?
No, because I knew what he'd do.
And what was that?
Batter me, for sure. Try and hurt the baby.
But he was providing a roof over your head, food every day. Why would he wish to harm your unborn child?
Because it would get him into trouble, wouldn't it? Having a baby with an underage kid.
But you could have looked after it.
He wouldn't have let me, no way. And there was no chance trying to convince social services.
Why not?
Because I was 14.
I'm sure Mr. Bales could have accessed appropriate support.
No, that wasn't happening, sorry.
You seem very sure about that.
I am sure.
And yet you didn't give Mr. Bales a chance to express his opinion.
No.
There seems to be a lot of second-guessing going on here. Whereas in actual fact, you had no way of knowing whether you'd have been able to keep the baby or not.
It's not even about him. I had a child taken away from me before.
Ah, so this was your second baby?
Yes. The first was with my boyfriend at the time. I was 13, he was 14, and I had no family support.
So because you'd lost one child, you wanted to keep this one. And your failure to do so is why you are blaming Mr. Bales, when you have a history of abdicating responsibility for your children.
I didn't think he'd survived. That is the only reason I left, and I've since repaired my relationship with him. Oh, don't worry, he's not here. You've fixed that with your special connections, haven't you? I mean, banging up your own son to intimidate me.
Miss Dingle, please, refrain from addressing the defendant.
You know, and I know, that you're lying.